Tyler Boyd is back, plus some thoughts on Joe Mixon. Hear from Boyd, hear from Zac Taylor on Joe, and plenty of other thoughts from Bengals offseason workouts. Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell so you get notified anytime we post a video, and buckle up because I'm not sure there's anyone covering Bengals offseason workouts the way we are at the stadium. If you missed our video with Zac Taylor, Tyler Boyd, well, make sure you check those out. Working on some more one-on-ones. We had a good streak there of Ted Karras, Dax Hill, Willie Anderson, Ted Karras, and TheCincyHat.com will be back momentarily and on this channel, and that's why you should hit that subscribe button. But let's dive into a couple of things that happened and took place earlier this week. Took place on Tuesday. Tyler Boyd reporting for Bengals offseason workouts. Look, the only reason he didn't show up from the get-go, and there were some commenting and wondering, does this have to do with Charlie Jones? Does this have to do with his contract? Is he disgruntled? All of those things. The answer is no. Family time. He was spending time with his daughter, and I think his daughter was traveling around some for dance and different things like that. And so guess what? If you're Boyd, well, you want to be around for those moments. So I could certainly understand that. Looked like he was in great shape, went through Tuesday's session, is here this week, was certainly excited to be back. And Boyd was asked about his future. There's 1 year left on his contract. He's 28 years old. We know about T. Higgins. We know about Jamar Chase. We know about Joe Burrow. And we could go down the list of Logan Wilson, DJ Reader, Chidobe Awuzie, all these guys that are in the final year of their deal or could be extension eligible next year. And so I threw a bunch of different names at you just now. Boyd is one of them. Here's what he had to say about his future in Cincinnati.
This is my home for now, and I just ain't going to worry about the unexpected. I'm here to finish this year out, and whatever happens, happens, but I know we have a very, very high chance of making the Super Bowl and even winning, and this is where I want to be, whether I come up with a new deal or not, I got to just go out there and I'm going to be me, I'm very appreciative of them still wanting me to be around and knowing that they don't want to trade me and things like that, but, at the end of the day, I just got to help guys get better, we ain't going to be playing ball forever. I might not be here forever, but, I'm always love this franchise, and I'm always be a Bengal.
This is the exact right mindset. It's exactly how Boyd should be thinking. Now, I got to be honest with you. I've never been in a contract year to this level with millions and millions of dollars on the line, but this is how he sets himself up for future success. Money-wise, it's how he sets himself up for success this year, team-wise. And it's this mindset of, if we handle our business and we're a Super Bowl contender and I'm playing at a high level in this offense, and he mentioned 30, 35, 40 points per game. He has high expectations for this offense. He mentioned all of those things. Well, then all of that other stuff is going to work itself out. And that's the part of it for me when a lot of these guys, they get so hell-bent on contract year. Bates did in his fourth year a few years ago. And obviously he got tagged and ultimately got paid, but he admitted it got to him. And you can do that and let it affect you, or you can view it the way Tyler is. And Tyler is in a different position. He is on his second contract. He has gotten paid, not like Bates. I'm not ripping Bates, but this is the mindset that I think you almost have to have if you're Tyler Boyd, DJ Reader, Joe Mixon. More on him in just a second. This is your chance to show the entire league that you're still a really high-end player that deserves to be invested in, whether it's in Cincinnati or one of the 31 other NFL teams. At the same time, you don't know how many chances you're going to get at what the Bengals have a chance at doing this year. It is extremely hard to get to the AFC title game. The Bengals had done it before 2021 twice. And they won both, but twice. And zero in my lifetime, zero in a lot of your lifetimes. Right? It took them over a decade to do it the first time. Then they did it twice in the same decade, and then they never got back. Point is this Bengals team, on paper at least, is more talented than last year's team. Tyler Boyd knows that. And so go all in on the ring. It's the perfect mindset. It sets such a good tone for any veteran that starts to think about his contract or one of these young guys that could be extension eligible. And I think they're all pretty grounded, right? It starts with Burrow, extension eligible. And while that one's probably going to get done, what if T doesn't get done? Well, you have a guy in Tyler Boyd who's in the exact same situation and older and going to have to sign for less money because part of the reason is because he's third in the pecking order and not going to get as many targets as Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. Not the only reason, of course. They're different players. But I digress. I love to see this attitude from Tyler Boyd. And let's flip it now and go to Joe Mixon, because there's been a lot of discussion about Joe Mixon's future from me as much as anyone. I'm right there at the front of the line of discussing what Mixon is going to be. Is he going to be in town? Should he have to take a pay cut? But Zac Taylor, I don't even want to say doubled down, tripled down on Joe Mixon when asked about all of the discourse, all of the discussion about Mixon's future. He was asked about it on Tuesday.
I think we've got a great relationship with Joe. I've appreciated how he's come into the building every single day and just worked hard. And that's a big reason why we gave him the contract we gave him, his presence with the team. And so, again, he's a guy that I enjoy being around, and we're counting on him.
The Bengals are counting on Joe Mixon. At least this coaching staff is. And that doesn't mean the front office isn't going to ask Joe to take a pay cut at some point. But clearly, it sounds like he's in their plans for this season. And you talk about a guy that is in very much in prove-it mode. Whether he makes what he's currently making or not, he has a lot to prove. And Joe Mixon was really good in 2021. He was a star player, put up high-end numbers. Last year came back down to earth, was not the same guy, had a couple of good games, but overall, it did not work. He has a lot to prove because he's at a position where they don't get paid into their 30s. They don't really get third deals at all. And that's what he's trying to show, is that he's worthy of that this year. So maybe they ask him to take a pay cut. If I'm him, I would probably, because in this offense, you're going to get touches, you're going to get receptions. There's no like plug and play. They didn't draft a Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson. There's no obvious competition for your snaps, even though I think Chase Brown and Travion Williams will both be in the mix. So to me, this makes a lot of sense that Zac Taylor's thrown his weight behind Joe, because he's their top back right now. Could that change? Could they sign someone? Could he refuse to take a pay cut? Could things, get out of control and go the other way? Maybe. But I think Joe Mixon, as of now, is going to be the Bengals starting running back. And so do with that what you will. Will they ask him to take a pay cut? I think that part is interesting. That could be dependent on contract extensions, also dependent on what happens with Jonah Williams. He's still not at Bengals offseason workouts. He's expected to be at mandatory minicamp in a couple of weeks. It's 3 days in the middle of June. I expect him there as well. And that's the part that's tough, because paying $25 million or using $25 million in cap space, over $22 million on Joe Mixon and Jonah Williams. All right. Well, that's fine if you're getting their best. If you're giving me 2021 Joe Mixon and 2021 Jonah Williams at right tackle, this offense, they may mess around and average 35 points per game. 30 might be tops in the NFL. They may get to 35, because if that happens, where's the flaw? And so the Bengals are banking on these guys to be steadying presence at their respective positions, and hopefully more. They're paying them to be more. You can't renegotiate with Jonah. Can't ask him to take a pay cut. That money is guaranteed. Joe Mixon, it's not. So maybe they could save a little bit that way. But if I had to guess today, and Zac Taylor called Jonah Williams day-to-day, by the way, when asked, which means nothing, tells us nothing. I think both are going to be on the roster. And I know there's been a lot of discussion about both guys. I think Jonah Williams is going to start at right tackle. I know there's been a Jackson Carman movement on social media, certainly, and discussed. Could he be in the mix? Absolutely. La'el Collins, interesting too. But overall, I think it's going to come down to, is La'el healthy and ready to go week one? Still a lot to ask, even though he looks really good. And for Jonah Williams, if he's working on that right tackle spot and understanding the same way Tyler Boyd, this goes back, it comes full circle, because all three of these guys are in contract years. Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, and Jonah Williams. Understand that you have a chance to win a Super Bowl. You might not be in the exact role that you want, but if you play well, you're going to get paid, and it's going to work out. Boyd, of course, Boyd wants more targets, but it's about winning. And so I think when Jonah shows up, maybe that attitude is contagious. Maybe he already has that attitude and just says, you know what, I don't need to show up to these voluntary workouts. I'll be good to go when it's time to go. So we will see. But just some thoughts on really three guys that we've discussed a lot about. And Boyd, because he hadn't shown up, and then Joe Mixon and Jonah Williams. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you check out Rivertown Inkery and rivertowninkery.com. Doug and his crew do an awesome job. 2 locations, Findlay Market location, brand new. Walked by it the other day. It was Saturday night. Didn't get to go. They were obviously closed by then. Or you can check them out in Oakley and, of course, rivertowninkery.com. Shout out to Andrew Fox Miller for editing this. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. I'm James Rapien, and this is Cincinnati Bengals Talk.